Hello, everyone. I am not going to be long at all. I'm just going to be a few minutes. I want to talk about the Aber and Preach versus Myron and Myron Fresh and Fit versus Aber and Preach situation. Like I said, I'm going to be real quick in and out because this morning, Fresh and Fit have declared victory. They have, in fact, from his page, he says, "Gentlemen, we have officially defeated the most hypocritical channel on YouTube, Anus and Reach. Sorry, I mean Aber and Preach. Here's how you play 4D chess with closet wokies." So just in that sentence right there, the fact that you resort to juvenile name calling, I gotta say, like really, it's one thing. Listen, humor is a thing. I like it, but there's a level of humor, right? So if you're coming with a level of humor that like you're a 10-year-old boy, like what was the purpose of that? What have you accomplished by that? You've accomplished nothing by that. And if you're just joining in, yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna be quick here because I wanna touch on this Ab and Preach situation. Well, this Fresh and Fit versus Ab and Preach situation. But Fresh and Fit have declared victory. Fresh and Fit on their page, they're saying that they have officially defeated Aber and Preach. And then they talk about 4D chess. Now, the 4D chess reference should the 4D chess reference is actually like it's a meme. The 4D chess reference or 5D chess is a meme about Trump supporters because there were a bunch of Trump supporters and particularly after he lost the 2020 election. They're saying, "Oh no, this is all a part of the plan. All of this is the master plan." And so using referring to yourself as using 4D chess, unironically, is like you just owned yourself because the entire reference was to make fun of people that were using cope instead of accepting reality. Like he lost, it's over. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna be real quick today because I got to run soon. But I wanted to touch on this Fresh and Fit situation because it's with the declaration of victory. In fact, let me show y'all what they posted. They posted on their channel this, and so they're saying they've won by this game of 4D chess. And then there's 5 points that they actually mentioned in this video, in this post that they said they debunked. They said they addressed. They spent the first hour of their live last week addressing these points, and he lists 5 points. The first one of those points he talks about was running from a fight. The second one is he gay? The third one, is he a predator? And he used a different word. Uh, the fourth one is did he do some Weinstein type stuff or attempt to do some Weinstein type stuff? And the fifth is Preacher's wife fat. Now let me just start with that one. He says they debunked the previous allegations. Like, how do you debunk? Like, it doesn't even make sense. How do you debunk whether or not Preacher's wife is fat? Like, what? So you clearly, because you called Preacher's wife fat, and so like, and you expect Aber and Preach or Preach to even attempt to debunk that? Like, that's absurd. It doesn't make any sense. So number 5 is Preacher's wife fat. What relevance to anything does that have? It has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but the fact that you called his wife fat is the reason, does provide reason why he might have a problem with you. And he said so in his latest video. Well, not his latest video, but in the latest video he appeared in addressing y'all. But then we'll go to point number 1, because point number 1 is okay. Yeah, here's point number 1. In fact, no, I'm gonna skip point for number 1 for now. I want to go to point number 2. Is Myron gay? I don't think, and this is my opinion, and guess what? If you're a Fresh and Fit supporter, you may disagree with me, and I welcome any comments disagreeing with me that they're actually making this allegation. I think they weren't really saying that Myron was gay. They were using that because they knew it would get under his skin. And it appears to have worked. It appeared that using the language of, you know, Myron's Fresh and Fit say they miss us and they want to get physical with us, that got under Myron's skin, and he's like trying to address, like, oh yeah, well, I'm not gay. But the interesting thing is for him to be so worked up about that when he was using that same thing about somebody else behind the scenes. So he was supposed to be on good terms with Kevin Samuels, yet behind the scenes he's saying that Kevin is gay and calling him slurs. And it's like, wow, that was. And then after after Kevin dies, then he's doing a tribute. But I don't think, and like I said, if you think I'm wrong, feel free to say so that you think I'm wrong about this. But I don't think Aber and Preach are actually saying that Myron is gay. They were playing, especially especially if you look at the Mary Howe video where I don't even know what Mary Howe was trying to say, because Mary Howe is talking about they blew Fresh and Fit, they blew Jay Waller. Like what were you trying to say? Yeah, you're from England and the UK, and you might have slightly different slang. But what in the world were you trying to say? It just, like, it came out completely wrong, and it was pretty funny to put together. Now, I will say this: it appears that Aber and Preach did take that video down. I don't know why. I'd be curious to hear their reasoning as to why they took that video down. Because are they like trying to back away from that? And if so, there may be legitimate criticism there. But the third point I want to get to, and remember, I skipped the first point because I'm going to go back to that. The third point is Myron a predator. I saw the No Jumper interview. Well, it's been a while since I've seen a bulk of the No Jumper interview, but I saw some of the clips from it. And although ABBA is now saying that I was just speaking in general. Number one, I think that was directed at Myron. That's my opinion. My opinion is I think that was directed at Myron. And quite frankly, I personally don't have a problem with that being directed at Myron. But if you're going to direct it at Myron, just say, yeah, I directed it at Myron. I don't think that saying directing it at Myron and then trying to walk it back, that doesn't look, that's not a good look. And I understand why he might do that, because he might be worried about a lawsuit. But let me tell you this. Here's why I don't even think that's something to worry about. Because you didn't specifically say he is a predator. You said his behavior was predatory. So now at that point, you're saying if he's acting in a certain way, you're not making a definitive claim about what he's done. And that wouldn't open you to a defamation claim, a defamation lawsuit. Nonetheless, I have to also add that after he did that interview with No Jumper, ABBA on several occasions addressed things that H3H3 had said about Myron, and I think specifically about Myron, because about Myron messing with some chick that had been on his show. He specifically called out H3 for being full of it. He and he gets on the video and says, "I'm no friend of Fresh and Fit." And this is crazy that Fresh and Fit refused to acknowledge this, so this right here that you know how dishonest Myron is. He does not acknowledge that ABBA defended him in past videos against allegations of being a predator. ABBA specifically defended Myron against allegations that weren't based on anything. Like, because H3 is interviewing some girl and she's talking about how an awkward and unpleasant situation went, and H3 is trying to twist it into some Me Too stuff. And I was like, what? And even the girl's like, well, I didn't say all that. I didn't say all. But H3 just goes directly to this. And I was like, yo, that like you just made some stuff up. So ABBA defended Myron against these types of allegations in on video, and Myron wants to pretend that didn't happen. So right then and there, you got to call. If you are a supporter of Fresh and Fit, you should be calling Myron out for this because he's not being truthful. He's not being honest. He's not being above board. He's being very selective in what he covers because he's not acknowledging that that Ab and Preach have covered some things about him negatively and have covered some things about him where they're saying, you know what, they're not wrong about this, or these allegations against them are baseless and don't have foundation. So for all his talk of them not being honest and them being disingenuous and just, oh, they don't even want to show the entire story. Now who's not showing the entire story? And ultimately, we're going to get into, not today, because I actually have the video I'm editing on why now. Because remember, this happened 2 years ago. This beef was over 2 years ago. So why did Myron wait 2 years? 2 years to come forward and do this. And I got that video coming out. It should be available tomorrow. It's in post right now. I'm editing it. But now we want to go to point number 1, because I've covered point 2 about Myron being gay. I've covered point 3, whether or not he's a predator. But now, and I've covered point 5 about Preach having a fat wife. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. It has no bearing on anything. But number 1, is Myron scared? Is Myron running from a fight? Because remember, 2 years ago, they had ABBA on. ABBA came on. ABBA confronted Myron face to face, and Myron was, did I say that? Oh, I can't remember. Now, at that point, I don't think ABBA was threatening violence or even coming with energy that violence was imminent. I think ABBA was just confronting him. But what I think Myron was scared about at that moment was, at that time, Fresh and Fit, this is 2 years ago, Fresh and Fit don't have 1 million subscribers. In fact, if I remember, Fresh and Fit didn't even have 400,000 subscribers at the time, but ABBA and Preach had over 1 million. So with Myron's content strategy of getting bigger YouTubers and cozying up to bigger names to boost their numbers, that was his strategy. He doesn't want to run afoul of somebody who he feels that can help him increase his numbers. So he's not gonna. He's like, oh, I can't remember, and now he's trying to play dumb. But he's doing that for his own self-interest because he's trying to boost his channel, and that's what's his primary concern. But don't talk about integrity. Don't talk about standards and principles. And no, because clear, your only principle was, I got to get on. I got to get mine. I got to get my numbers up. I'll talk shit about you when you're gone, but while you're there, I got to cozy up to you to try to get you your support and have you on my side to help me boost my numbers. But then we move on to when ABBA and Preach do their video. ABBA and Preach do their video calling out, in fact, criticizing Myron and Walter, criticizing Fresh and Fit about their sugar daddy websites. They get mad. Fresh and Fit get mad. Do their live stream, and they're talking cash shit. Oh, we better than you. Blah blah blah. In fact, we could fight. The people that introduced violence into this equation were Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit brought up a fight. They were like, and Fresh and Fit didn't expect the response they got, because that's when Preach stepped in and said, okay, yeah, I'll be in the States next week. and I'll take one bitch, then the other, and we can do it like that. We can get in the ring, boom. Because he wasn't talking about street fighting. He wasn't talking about seeing them in the club. He says, okay, we can get in the ring. I'll take one of you, beat your ass. Take the next one, beat your ass. That's what Preach said. They weren't expecting that response. When they got that response, they bitched up. And I'm going to say it's bitching up because they're the ones that initiated it. If they had never talked about violence and then somebody else introduces violence, potential for violence into the equation, I would say, okay, like, no, they're just being responsible. But they're the ones that offered the idea. And when he accepted, then it became a different story. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh no. Then that's when Walter wants to go gun shopping. And listen, let's keep it real. There, the waiting period for buying a gun is. I had actually looked up the information. I think I even have it in one of my old videos. I think it's like 48 hours. It's between 48 and 72 hours. It's not months. The permit may be months, but the buying the gun, you don't need. It doesn't take much. Like you go, you choose what gun you want. You pay for it. You submit the paperwork. You just don't leave with it. They submit the paperwork, and I think it's 48 or 72 hours later. This is in Florida. Then you can go pick up the gun. So them trying to claim that, oh no, yeah, he had been trying to buy this gun for months. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. The permit for concealed carry may take months, but to buy a gun takes days. And he tried to do that, like, so right after you challenge somebody to a fight, they accept, then you upload a video of you buying a gun. Like, come on, like, please, like, I'm, and people say, oh, like, using discernment is part of being an intelligent man. Using discernment and being able to read the signs, like, okay, there's nothing about that was coincidental. One, you attempted to scare somebody with the oh yeah, let's fight, let's box. That didn't work. So now you're attempting to scare them with, oh, um, I'm buying a gun. But at some point later on, there's this video of Preach. I think he's with Colin Noir shooting long gun. So that backfires too. Um, but the whole point is, you offered a fight, you ran from the fight. You don't want the fight. Which brings us to last week. Last Monday, you get on, last Monday or Tuesday, you get on and say, oh yeah, we could do this. Like, we can meet in person, and if it gets to fisticuffs, it gets to fist. Okay, number one, I have to believe with as much, they have over 1 million subscribers. They get super chats galore. They've got consultations and courses. I've got to believe that their net worth is of each. Both Myron and Walter, Fresh and Fit, are both over $1 million. They both are millionaires. I've got to assume that. If you are a millionaire and you are talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna talk, and if it gets to fisticuffs, why would it get to fisticuffs? Why would a discussion with another man get to fisticuffs? Listen, if he attacks you, protect yourself. But you offering that makes it seem as if you're going to be the one to want to fight. Why? Like, do you not have self-control? And if you're worth, and so this is my message to anybody that follows Fresh and Fit. If you have any value, not even just high value, not even if you're a high value man, if you have any value, don't let words take you off your square where you're getting into fights because you have something to lose. And it's absurd that he's going there, and that this is supposed to be a man that other men are supposed to look up to. A man that's willing to put his high net worth on the line over over a verbal disagreement. Because let's say he meets, Abba decides to have a conversation with him, and then it gets to fisticuffs. or any other person. Like you realize what he's putting at risk in terms of his net worth, right? It's absurd. It's stupid. It's asinine. But if he wants to challenge Abbott to get in the boxing ring, he can do that. But nonetheless, you did that. Preach accepted, and then you wanted to. Oh yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Yeah, we just want to move on from this. That's what you said. Yeah, this is over. We're sorry. We just want to move on. But now you're back on it, and now you specifically said, I want Abba, not Preach. Why don't you want Preach? Because Preach wants you. Preach wants you. Preach said, I'll do it. Listen, he says, you don't have to have a problem with me. I have a problem with you. I'll do it. Let's go. And they're like, no, we're talking to Abba. So are they running? Because I'm gonna show it to you again. I'm gonna show it to you again what he posted this morning. Our first video, we spent an hour debunking all of the prior allegations, running from boxing. What did you debunk? You're still running. Preached said, let's go. I'll do it. And you're like, no, I don't want to fight. I want to fight Abba. So you're running from Preach. You're scared of Preach. You think you could take Abba, and maybe you could, maybe you can't. I don't know. I don't know what Abba knows. I don't know what Abba's background in fighting is. I don't know. But you think you could take him, so you want to fight him, but you're afraid to fight Preach. You've debunked nothing. What I want to get to next, and lastly, because as I said, we've already talked about running from a fight. We've already talked about is Myron gay. We've already talked is Myron a predator, and we've talked about how irrelevant the preacher's wife's weight is. It's absolutely irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. Like, it has nothing to do with nothing. But is Myron the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube? Because he claims in this post this morning that he's debunked the prior allegations of being of Weinstein-type behavior. He's debunked that. Okay, because I remember 2 years ago when they did that 4 or 5 hour live stream. In fact, I think it may have been 6 hour live stream. I watched about at least 4 hours of it that night. Like, I was watching live, because this is when all of the allegations had come out against them, and they was like, okay, we're showing receipts, and I wanted to hear their side of the story from their mouths. And I watched hours of that. Hours. And so they said, oh yeah, we're bringing receipts. And I watched them produce receipts. They produced the receipts that had already been produced against them. I'm going to say this again. They produced the receipts that had already been produced against them. So, and just past Monday, you know what Myron did again? He produced the same receipts which had been produced against him again. But do you know what he did? He produced those same beats. Correction. He produced those same receipts with sound effects. Booyaka! 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 Rewind selector. That's all he did. The same receipts, and he added sound effects. That's all he did. He was put the same receipts, and and he had sound effects behind it. That's it. That was the extent of what he did. That was the extent of what Myron did, because he provided no additional facts. No facts to dispute anything that had already been proven. Because here's what was claimed. It's claimed he got up in Anna Quinn's DMs. Hey, would you like to collab? She goes, oh, okay, yeah. She looks up his channel. Yeah, I see your channel. Yeah, I'm not gonna be in Florida until maybe like next week. What day works for you? Oh yeah, by the way, I just want to make sure you know, yeah, I don't do anything platonic if you're gonna be on my show. She's like, wait, excuse me, what? Yeah, you gotta have sex with me if you want to be on my show. That was proven by Anna Quinn and by Myron. Both of them proved the same thing. But Myron did it with sound effects. That's what he did. He did it with sound effects. That's it. I'm like, what? Like, what about what you said was different? Like, he's like, oh yeah, she spent hours talking shit. She spent hours going back and forth with you after you tried to bait and switch. You led with business. Oh, approached you on business, and you try to claim that you're being honest. You led with business and then switched it up to, oh yeah, but you got to have sex with me. So yes, how is that not the epitome of some Weinstein nonsense? Like, how is that not the cast? Oh, you want this role? You want this gig? Well, you know, I want something. And my advice to any man following Fresh and Fit: never, ever, ever do that stupid shit. Never, never. Because they got lucky that she just left it alone. Any one of you that try that stupid shit could lose everything. Never, ever, ever do that stupid shit. If a woman likes you for you, good. If you gotta learn game to get a woman, okay. If you have to leverage your business or some business opportunity, definitely not a job. What? Never, ever, ever do that stupid shit. But he's out here claiming victory, claiming he debunked allegations that he actually proved against himself. They were proven by other parties, and he proved them again, but he had a soundtrack. He had a soundtrack this time. That's it. Like, that makes no sense. And I don't know who bought it, but like I said, if you watch this and you're a Fresh and Fit fan, tell me what additional facts he provided that disproved any of his Weinstein-type behavior. And if we look, even 2 years ago, there was other allegations from this other chick that had been on the show. And so basically what happened was he's been using the show as leverage to get chicks. Or he's been using it as an opportunity to get chicks. Like, listen, if this dude is over 6 feet tall and physically fit, but needs to use the his very successful podcast to get women, maybe you should be looking to somebody else for advice on how to get women. Because what that's telling you is that absent his successful podcast, he doesn't know how to get women. Maybe you should be getting advice from somebody else who like I don't know why Sneeko even gives any deference to him. And I'm going to be doing a video about something I noticed in a recent interview with Sneeko. Like, this dude, in terms of getting women, this dude definitely doesn't need to be like taking the backseat to them. And in fact, there was a interview. Sneeko was on their podcast last year, I think it was, like September or something. And Myron went back into this nonsense about women not. It doesn't matter if you make a woman orgasm. And Sneeko, like, you could tell Sneeko was thinking about it, like I know this is some bullshit, but I don't want to just show him up. But at the same point, I can't sit here, co-sign this nonsense, and make it look like I agree with this nonsense. So Sneeko spoke up and said, "Yeah, that's bullshit. No, that's because what Myron revealed when he says that he says that frequently. He says it frequently that women don't need to orgasm. It doesn't matter if you make a woman orgasm. And what he's doing is telling on himself. Myron is telling on himself when he says that stupid shit. He's saying that women don't expect him to make them orgasm. That's what he's saying. That's, in other words, women are there. The reason why women are with him are for completely other reasons. But my advice to you is not to take advice from that dude. Um, don't take advice from that dude. Um, because that makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. But I am curious about something. Okay, so before I leave, I do want to address. He talks about the Clayton Bigsby and Dave Chappelle. Myron, you are no Dave Chappelle. Stop it. Number one. Number two, if you even know why Dave Chappelle ended his show, then you'd realize why what Myron is saying right now is complete and utter nonsense. Funny thing is during the Chappelle show, one of my partners was we were going back and forth as to whether or not the show was good. We agreed that Chappelle was talented, but he felt that Chappelle's characters and using that kind of stuff was actually negative. And I'm like, no, he's making fun of racism, not of us. So he's not making fun. He's making fun. Chappelle was making fun of the racist, not of black people. But he felt that the line was too blurry. My friend felt that the line was too blurry for that to matter. Myron was not making fun of racist. Myron was literally making fun of black people. Was literally making fun of a black person, and I will say black people because even in his comment section, he's calling other people, apes and stuff like that. So Myron, no, you were not making fun of racist or racism. You were making fun of black people using racist tropes. That's what Myron was doing. There's no and so when I said if you even know why Dave Chappelle ended his show, right? Because Dave Chappelle did the Pixie bit. If you remember that, it's the skit with him on the plane, and on one side they say, "Would you like the chicken or the fish?" And one side you've got the good side saying, "Get the fish," and on the other side you've got the character in blackface saying, get the chicken," like living up to the stereotype. And Dave Chappelle says, he watched a white guy on the set laughing hysterically at that bit. And he said to himself, am I actually challenging stereotypes or reinforcing them? That's why he walked away. He walked away for that very reason. So try to invoke David Chappelle when you don't even realize why he walked away from the Chappelle show. It just shows like you're full of shit. Myron Gaines is full of shit, point blank, period. Because that distinction is why, and the blurriness of the lines is why Dave Chappelle said, okay, no, I'm walking away. Because I'm trying to make fun of racism, but I'm seeing the potential that racists are actually just appreciating this and using and think I'm actually making fun of black people as opposed to making fun of these ignorant ideas about black people. But the last thing I want to say about this before I close out this live stream um, is that Myron uses a bunch of language in this thread of his. Um, and let me see, is it here? Where's he got? He says he okay. As planned, real ones for the point. I'm trying to see where. Okay, these people that follow A and P, so people that follow Aber and Preach, support Biden, think Tate is guilty, and cry when the barista doesn't put sugar in their caramel infused coffee. Um, Aber and Preach are hypocritical, woke, and politically correct NPCs that pose as comedians. So what he's trying to do here, what Myron is clearly doing, is just trying to capitalize on the culture war. He, he's trying to capitalize on the culture war, trying to grift off the conservative grift, the conservative ink grift, because he doesn't know shit about politics, and most of these pundits that are these so-called conservative pundits that are playing with that shit don't understand politics. They go with buzzwords, the woke, which is why you can have somebody like a Bethany Mandel who wrote a book about woke and can't fucking define it. And so yeah, feel free, either if you think, oh yeah, they're woke, define, if you believe that, oh, there's people that are woke, define woke in the comment section, if you're watching this on the replay. But I know he can't define woke, and he's just using these buzzwords to grift off of this, the culture war and the upcoming election season, because that's what this is. This is another level of the grift. But I'm going to get into more details about okay, so Cephas. Okay, ABBA is full of shit. No, they're trolling. Okay, so this is clearly Cephas is a supporter of Fresh and Fit. No, they're trolling ABBA, and you're triggered. So wait, wasn't he triggered? Cephas, wasn't this dude triggered, dancing around like a monkey? I mean, he was really emotional. You saw the vein in his head. Sounds like he was triggered. Also, sounds like you're triggered. I'm just saying, Cephas. I'm sorry, but Myron is absolutely right. About what? About what? I'm a black man from Detroit, by the way. See, listen, I might have believed you were black until you said that. I might have believed you were black until you said that. Okay? Um, Zerker and Myron do coke, not woke. But that's it. That's it. Like I said, I just wanted to do this brief one today. I've got the video coming out. I'm editing it. It should be out tomorrow, about why. Why 2 years later? Why 2 years later are they doing this? Cephas, I might take you up on that later on in the week. See, I might take you up on that later on in the week. But I'm going to be doing the video tomorrow talking about why this is happening, why they waited 2 years, because they said, oh, yeah, we're done with it, we don't want it, and why he's doing this now. We'll be getting into that. But my point of this live stream was he didn't debunk anything. Correction. There may be legitimate criticisms about the being called a predator, because I do think ABBA was referencing him. I do. But ABBA, after that, ABBA has clearly defended Myron against claims that Myron is a predator. He's clearly defended him. But I do think at that moment, during the No Jumper interview, that ABBA was referring to Myron. And the running, it's clear he's running from Preach. Both of them, both Fresh and Fit, are running for Preach. That's beyond the doubt. And the Weinstein-type behavior, the receipts that Anna Quinn provided, and that Myron provided with the soundtrack, all prove, yes, that was some Weinstein-type nonsense on his behavior. Okay, so thank you for coming out to checking out this live stream. Like I said, I'll have that other video out tomorrow. See ya, and have a enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And feel free to, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Have a great Sunday, everyone.